Ladies and gentlemen, it's the first time I've done a live in an extremely long time. Always used to be such an absolute pleasure doing these and tackling some of the most hard-hitting topics in the world of dance music. And today we just want to take it to the core. We want to help me help you. So we've kind of gone for, what's the hardest thing about DJing? And there's many things. There's many difficult things to DJ. And otherwise, if it was so easy, everyone would be a DJ. Everyone is. But it's still difficult, It's like not everyone can dance, not everyone can sing, and not everyone can press play and play music in an order. And that's probably one of the things that I found most difficult about DJing is playing the music in an order that is palatable to people there. Don't blow your load. Don't play, as they say in the DJ world, don't blow your load musically. Just let the power go through you and play that music in an order. So we're just going to go straight in. We're going to start answering your questions, and hopefully we're going to be able to work out what the hardest thing about DJing is and how we can make it so easy for you out there. The hardest thing for me is watching MP3s degrade over time, and it's something that I've actually talked about before in quite a lot of depth, to be honest with you, in terms of DJing, that your MP3s do degrade over time, and some people still doubt it. We've got a lot of deniers out there. They might as well be flat earthers these days, but yeah, MP3s do degrade over time the more that you use them, and eventually they will degrade to nothing and the quality will subside. So there's a lot of MP3s that got out there that I got that are no longer with us, and I had to just get a dustpan and brush, pick them up and then bury them in my back garden. And it is really sad because I used to love those MP3s, and I had to replace them with ones that sounded exactly the same as when they were brand new, but something's different in their soul. Once I bought a SM57 microphone, you'd think they'd all be exactly the same. However, I lost my original one, bought a new one, and it sounded completely different. So what can you do? KIXN, what do I do if Chewbacca starts screaming so loud during my set that no one can hear my music? I would, and this is what any good DJ would do, I believe, is I would change the music I'm playing to suit the sound of Chewbacca's voice, right? I wouldn't just say, yeah, okay, Chewbacca, you need to stop, because Chewbacca he's got his own things going on, you know what I mean? He's got a lot of musical heritage. You wouldn't want Chewbacca to stop. You could say to Chewbacca, yes, I want you to continue. I think that you deserve a space as much as I do. I'm going to adjust my set and start playing, I don't know, Martin Garrix's Animals, for example, something that's not too busy, quite atonal. I feel like Chewbacca's voice would actually just sit perfectly over the top of. And I might be wrong. I could be wrong. And I'm strong enough to admit that I have been wrong in the past, not recently. And I think, yeah, Chewbacca's voice would fit really well over Martin Garrix's Animals. So adjust yourself. Don't blame Chewbacca. He's just I don't know even know if he's a man, but I don't know what he is, but he's like an animal, just like Martin Garrix's Animals, aren't we all? So, Atari Stacy says here, I'm not sure what to do with my hands when I DJ, and we all get it, don't we? A lot of the time, like, do we do a little kind of like the eagle, where you put your arms out like a wing? Or do you pump it up? Do you give him a finger? Do you like point at everyone like that? What do you do with your hands? What I would say is you probably should be using your hands to DJ. It's not necessary. I know a lot of people out there on the circuit, and time is money. Time is money. They will pre-record their mix, press play, so that they have more time to do things with their hands, and it's a valid technique that not everyone gets involved in. Not everybody wants to do that kind of thing. Some people would prefer to mix and have fun themselves with their own hands while they're DJing, and DJing itself is supposedly quite fun. They would prefer to DJ, but I know a lot of people that do the pre-recorded mix so that they can actually free their hands so that they can do other stuff, you know. They could do knitting or other entertaining activities that the crowd will find just as nourishing. If you fall into neither of those zones, get a drink, yeah? Get a watery drink and hold it in your hand. And if it's shaking like this, it means that there's a T-Rex near, or there's just been a bit of an issue, you know, that you've got a bit of nerves, and that just shows that you are a human being and not a sync button quantize, which has its benefits. Dema Underground says, what do I do if the tracks haven't analysed right and the BPMs are off? What I would do in that sort of situation is I would read the crowd. The first thing, so what I always do, anytime something goes wrong while I'm DJing, the first thing I do, read the crowd, because that is the basis of all DJing, is reading the crowd. You read that crowd and you go, okay, what are they thinking? Are they thinking, hey, I'm enjoying this? Or it's going a bit off kilter? Read them, add them up. And then what you do is just turn off your sync button, you turn off the quantize, and then engage the delay button, engage a really, you know, handbrake type stop to the music, get on the mic and say, I'm sorry everybody, but I haven't actually analysed any of my music and the BPMs are off. I hope you don't mind if I stop this record now and just press play on another one, and we'll carry on as if everything's normal. If it happens on the second track, just keep doing it. Just carry on doing that each song. And you know what? If the crowd aren't knobheads, they'll probably go, do you know what? I actually respect this, because honesty is something I look for in DJing as a skill and not just as a virtue. So, yeah, it's quite difficult. So we've got some more questions from people at home here. So we've got DJ Slim Reaper, which sounds like so many different DJ names. Sorry, did you see that vape then? That was insane. I always take the DJ set on the road with me. Do you know what I mean? Vape wise, make sure the lights are with me. No one's home, but we're always chugging. So DJ Slim Reaper says, converting all your digital files to vinyl if the venue only has turntables. Now that is absolutely fantastic idea, because if you go into the venue, and this happens more often than not, especially in the modern day, was it 2024? You'll go into a DJ set room. So I'm getting put off by Sajid Ali trying to double team me here. Great, cool. He's gone now for 10 minutes. You're going to walk in and you're going to see that there are vinyl turntables. And you know what? At one point, maybe even myself, maybe a year ago, I would have been like, this is pucker, tickety boo. Not so much these days. You've got to be prepared. So if you're a vinyl only DJ and you know that there's only going to be CDJs in the venue, or the vinyl setup is not going to be on par with the kind of skills that you're bringing to the table, what you want to be doing is you want to be converting those vinyl to some sort of digital format so that you can play it on the valid decks. Now, what's happening now is, as USB sticks are becoming vintage, a lot of people in the world are now converting their digital files to a vinyl with a lacquer press, just in case that sort of situation happens where you only have a vinyl deck in front of you. And I believe that, and this is my own personal opinion, don't take this as gospel, but I personally believe that you are not really a true DJ unless you are prepared for both sides of the argument. If you're not going there with USB sticks when it's vinyl only, and you've got vinyl records, essentially what I'm trying to say is you've got to have both all of your songs on vinyl and all of your songs on USB at all times, whether the venue has told you that or not. Otherwise, a lot of people out there are going to be losing respect for you, and that's not anyone's fault really. It's more the fault of just circumstance of the DJ's life. So anyone who's just starting out DJing, make sure you take a complete mirror of vinyl and USB digital music with you wherever you go, especially to house parties. You're going out for a drink down the pub and you think that you might be going to your mate's house, take it with you. Take it with you. You never know who'll be watching at the back of the room. There could be an A&R at the back of your mate's crib, and you want to impress them. Okay. So we got one here that actually seems like a bit of a genuine concern. So DJ Abby Days has said the most difficult thing about DJing is Bandcamp WAVs. Now, Bandcamp WAVs might sound like some sort of, I don't know, fun frolical DVD where we can all enjoy ourselves, but no, it's never about enjoying yourself when it comes to DJing. It's about doing the job, being very serious. So someone's put, well, what about Bandcamp WAVs? What's wrong with Bandcamp WAVs? And DJ Abby Day says they are encoded as extendable WAVs, which are basically WAVs that are extremely long. So usually if you have an extendable WAV, what I would do is get a longer USB stick to fit them in. Otherwise they'll poke out the end and they can get damaged. So you want to make sure that when you have an extendable WAV, get an extendable USB pen that will fit the WAV in it, basically. They're encoded as extendable WAVs, which CDJs can't read, and that's because the CDJs, if it's a CDJ 1000, that means it's less than 10 years old, and its reading comprehension is not as high as somebody who might be like 18 years old or 21 years old. The CDJs can't read, and an error code comes up. Not sure why. Jay West says they can easily spill over the mixer, causing them to break, which is true because WAVs are obviously made out of liquid. We've come to know this now. And then someone's put here, 16-bit are fine, but 24-bit WAV is an issue. You can convert it though. So if anyone's actually having a serious problem with that, convert it to 16-bit because it's a bit more cool. It's just done its GCSEs. Once it's 24-bit, if it hasn't used its school skills, this is like 3 years out of uni, the reading comprehension is actually going to be lower than someone who's 16 years old. So it's great to see everybody in here today, and we're answering all the questions that we can as they arise, and hopefully putting these out into the world. This is just a warm-up one to get warmed back into doing these live streams, because we're going to be doing these a little bit more regularly now that I've gotten more of an established place to be able to actually talk to you guys from. So Ecula, all colours, has put admitting it to your family. Yeah, I guess that's actually my true vibe, really, from DJ to DJ. One of the most difficult things about DJing is admitting it to your family. I remember when I first realised I was a DJ, I think it was, I'm 36 now, I think I was 33 is when I realised that I wanted to, when I was older, I wanted to be a DJ. And it was literally, was it Christmas Eve? Yeah, Christmas Eve. So I'd accidentally been spiked with cannabis. And I started listening to music and I thought, well, this sounds really, really good in between like the fits of paranoid terror. I thought, this sounds like even better. And do you know what? When I pressed play on that thing, I've realised that maybe that was my calling to be a DJ. So I just thought then, I was like, went in the shower, I had the scariest shower of my life because I was high on cannabis smoke. And then I went downstairs and I froze. I froze like a 24-bit WAV in a CDJ. It can't read it. Can't write it. Nothing came out. No noise. I was just there in front of the whole family, and I was naked because I accidentally forgot that I'd just come out of the shower and forgot to actually put the clothes on. And so they weren't quiet. They were making quite a lot of noise. They need to go upstairs, and I did go upstairs. Woke up the next day, and I left them a note in a bit of card with a snowman outside, and just left it there on the side. And when they opened it, they thought it was from Santa Claus, and they thought basically it was Santa Claus saying that I want to be a DJ. And I went, no, it's me. And they turned to me and they were like, you're Santa Claus. And I was like, no, I want to be a DJ. And they went, and they just like carried on and just ignored me. I think they still had that thing from the shower the day before in their mind. But either way, it wasn't easy. So So Rowan Eid, who we saw at the Bog Bristol set, says being told Gabba isn't a vibe. First of all, no one likes to be told that anything isn't a vibe, especially if it is a vibe, which Gabba isn't, but it is something. So Gabba's something that as someone who mainly DJs tech house, yeah, it's a bit strong for me. It's a bit of a tough one for me. I've always said, and, ask anybody about this, I've always said that music makes the world go round. I've said that. But also that all music mostly is valid, potentially. Maybe not as valid as tech house, but mostly in many different ways, it is a valid form of entertainment. Gabba, on the other hand, is the devil's music. When I listened to it, I saw a ring of flames, and then obviously it was just mental. It was a mental ring of flames in the middle of. Someone played it for a joke at the end of the set. Great joke, mate. Should be on live at the Apollo. Or more like Dante's Inferno. And I saw a ring of flames, and I saw a devil's head poking out of the ring of flames. And when they played it, and I said, "Turn this music off now." They couldn't hear me; it was too loud. And that was my experience of it. And you know what? I could say to them, yeah, maybe it was a vibe. There's vibe potential, yeah, sure. But would I want to touch the devil's music? Not today. Not today. Tomorrow? Ask me tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. But yeah, the devil's music was Gabba for me that day. So 16 Faces, who appears that he only has one face. I'm not on the weed smoke today, but yeah, he looks like he's only got one face. Says one of the most difficult things for him about DJing is getting sync button wrist cramps, which I'm sure we can all agree with. Now, the sync button is it's such a contentious issue, isn't it? In the world of DJing, not like on a real physical level, all it does is just match two BPMs together, and really it's quantize that's the devil's music, because that's the one that's keeping everything in time, whether you use sync or not. Because as soon as you turn quantize off, everyone goes whoa whoa whoa, and everyone goes out of time. But everyone has quantize on, but no one has a sync button on, even though it just makes the BPM the same. But it gives you cramps. It can give you cramps, yeah. So I got a really good technique. I hope you don't mind, Shirley Town. I'll keep your name stum. Just tapping it on and off just makes the BPM go in time. And then I was actually having some really good time over the weekend with Civic Grief, who was really, really annoyed with my DJing technique of syncing the BPMs and then not being able to reach the BPM with the tempo slider, because it's just too far away, and then having to change the width of the tempo slider, and then him going, "I've never done that in my whole life. I just played music that's round about the right BPM." So that was a lot of pain for Civic Grief. But yeah, wrist buttons, wrist cramps, sync button wrist cramps. What you can do is, I like to use Old Bass oil. Put it on my wrist and my whole body and face before my DJ set, and that'll keep people away from you, and then you can focus on the music and focus on your technique with your wrists. Let's put here the look of disappointment in everyone's face when they find out you only DJ house music. I think that DJing house music is absolutely fine and it is good. Now, one of the most painful things is when all you have is house music, and then it appears that when someone says, "Look, I'm going to drop a bit of bass house, not just house music," and they drop a bit of bass house, you can't keep on and go, "I'm sorry, we're going to have to switch the vibe back down," and they just think of you as less of a DJ, less as a human, and it is painful. It's hard. Wish I could just cookie cut myself 50 times so that each one of me that gets destroyed gets replaced by another me, but there's only one. I'm the original cookie. It's difficult being a DJ. People fucking smile. People smile at this kind of shit. you know. Anyway, and then someone else has put here, and this is a follow on from that, really, DJing in front of other DJs, and that is bloody difficult because they might play bass house and all you've got is house music, and you're supposed to smile. You're supposed to say, "Hey, look, I'm a DJ like you," but they don't believe you because you don't have the credentials on you in USB form. High school was tough. Yeah, it was very tough. So the hardest thing about DJing for Sharon is you can DJ for hours, even in a packed room, and get no requests the whole time. It is difficult, because sometimes you're trying to connect with an audience, and then how do you know anyone's there if no one connects with you back? If you can't get the feeling of the connection back through them coming on the stage and them saying to you, I'm listening to what you're playing, I'm hearing you, but I want to hear something different. And you go, that's what I needed. I just needed a human touch. That's why I came on here, to touch a human with the sound of the music. And it's fine. It's fine. Mine, sometimes they don't come up. Sometimes they're really happy with your DJ mixing, with what you got to offer. Sometimes no. Polly Tickle says, I've lost my CDJs down the 1210s down the back of my sofa. Again, one of the most difficult things about DJing is trying to get them out there, because that's where they want to be. It's where they decide that they want to be. It's where they demand to be. And you're just a human being who no longer has any 1210s. So, true. Very true. Okay, so someone else has put here. We've got a few more left here, guys. Okikuru says, not being allowed to use my shit quality MP3s however I like. Yeah, because there was legislation passed by the past Tory government about the Quality of Sound Act in venues, saying that you cannot actually play music that is of too low a bit depth, which I think is absolutely fucking ludicrous, because you know what? Sometimes we like to have our YouTube rips from 2006 period, like a real vintage encoder there, and it starts with, this is Zane Lowe's hottest record in the world, and we like to catch people off guard, we like to play games, but since that act has passed, I feel like maybe we should repeal it. And if you know anyone that we can chat to in the council that can get this motion rolling, the Quality of Sound Act, we'd just love to hear from you, because preferably in some sort of really low quality voicemail on a Samsung Galaxy A10 or something like that, or maybe even like a Blueberry or whatever you call it, Blackberry or something like that would be really great. I'd really enjoy that. But yeah, it's a really, really big problem now. I remember my mate Mark, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. He was playing a Kazaa rip of Numb. Turned out to be a virus. Took down the whole CDJs, and then these cops ran in. They just rugby tackled him to the floor, tased him, put some handcuffs behind his hands, and then said, "Well, did you play that?" And he said, "No." And they just let go. So, hey, Omega, and just let go. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely disgusting, disgusting vibes, really. So we've got a couple more questions left here. So yeah, one of the most difficult things that's been put here from S. Felicia is getting gigs that pay more than a drink ticket and fries, and you're in it for the wrong reasons if you're in it for the money, because I think that if you're really, really serious about DJing, you should be paying the promoter, you should be paying the venue and saying thank you for allowing me to bestow my gift upon them, and it's priceless. So you really, if you're getting fries and you're getting a drink ticket, throw it away, give it to someone who needs it more, because I'm gonna be extremely true with you here. If you're in this DJ game for the money, you're in the wrong game, mate. You should get into accounting, you should get into golfing, you should get into motocross. But what you want to be doing is, if someone says to you, hey, do you want to DJ this gig? Say, I'll do it for free. Keep your fries, mate. I can't wait to make these people's night and really give them the gift of music, like God gave me the gift of giving music, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's quite difficult out there for a lot of people. Yeah, motocross is sick. Yeah, it is sick, but it's a bit too abundant now. I think everybody, was it something like, let me just have a look here. Yeah, three and five people are into motocross now. It's an addiction sweeping the nation, and I think maybe more people should get back to their roots of doing music, because motocross has been a scourge. Like, it literally took half my family out. Like, my cousin, he used to be a normal guy, and then now he walks around with like a really padded top on, and I'm like, you're not even on your bike anymore, mate. What are you doing? And he's like, he can't even talk to you anymore. He can't hear you. He's heard too much engines, and yeah, it's destroying lives. Yeah, you're right, Joe. It is destroying lives. Motocross, absolutely disgusting world out there. But what can we do? We're just human beings. We're just trying to make the most we can. And I think music could potentially pull everyone together. Yeah, exactly. A lot of the nightclubs have been closing down, and they've turned into motocross rinks, which is, it's a hard pill to swallow. And everyone's in there in the crowd cheering it on, and I'm just there going, like, trying to do an air horn, but they already have air horns anyway, because that's part of the motocross thing. Yeah, motocross rinks, yeah. And yeah, so they already have air horns in there, so you don't even need an air horn. You don't even need a DJ there. And like, oh, the engine is like music to my ears. I'm like, it's not fucking music, mate. It's not music. It's an engine. Oh God, it really does give me nightmares. Anyway, that's the end of the stream, guys. I've gone through all the questions that people have sent me through, and hopefully you'll see clips of this up on up soon. And yeah, have a really great night, and keep safe.